Started on the Manchester Ship Canal in 1965. It was July. I left school on the Friday and I started work on the Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was the cabin lad on a tug, and we had to do that for 2.5 years. So in that 2.5 years, I learned everything from cooking, scrubbing, making beds for the captain and the mate. And 2.5 years later, when I was 18, or nearly enough, my dad, who was a diver on the Ship Canal, asked me would I like to be a diver. So after a lot of umming and ahhing, and my mum trying to persuade me, no, stay as you are, I did the thing that I should imagine all kids do, go and work with a dad. And I was a trainee diver until I was 21. I did my training with the Liverpool and Glasgow Salvage Company down in Liverpool in all aspects of diving. Started off with my proper diving on the Ship Canal with a dress called the CB Gorman 12-bolt helmet. And it was the big helmet that you see on TV. It was made of brass and copper. And then a suit. This was put on top of the suit. And then you had breast weights and a back weight. Then you had the big boots that you see. So all told, with everything on, it came to £155. And me, being a very thin, scrawny 20-year-old, I couldn't get up from the stool that he was sat on. It was just too heavy for me. So I then went to the lightweight diving gear, which was called, a nickname for it was called the One Breath from Death, because it was just a mask on. You had a rubber suit on, weights to send you down, and it was a mask. And it was one breath, then exhale. And if there was no air in the tanks, it was, and there was nothing. Fortunately, that only happened once to me, and the lads up the top realised there was no air in the bottle and pulled me up fast. I wasn't very deep, so I could come up, straight up, and coughing and spluttering. So anyway, 20 years old, I managed to get a bit of beef on me and went up to the standard dress, which was a CB Gorman helmet. All on. Eventually got into the water and found out, to my surprise, that this £155 in the water feels like £10. And once you get on the bottom and get yourself sorted out, you could regulate your air on the helmet as how much comes in and how much goes out. Get yourself nicely settled, and it was the most comfortablest diving equipment I've ever worn under the water.
And that was called a?
That was called a CB Gorman 12-bolt helmet. Boots and weights all go with it.
How dangerous was it? Sounds very dangerous.
Under the water, there was a lot of danger to it, but if you had a good topside team, which I did, they were in radio contact with me. Every couple of minutes they shout down, "Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm okay." If the radio contact went, there was a series of signals on the diving line. It was 2 sharp pulls to come up quick, or 1 sharp pull means "Are you okay?" So I was covered both ways. Then I progressed on to lightweight diving gear. The CB Gorman helmet went out the window through regulations. The new regulations meant that we had to go to a 4-man diving team with backup, i.e. a standby diver. So there was 2 divers, 1 in the water, 1 standing by on top, a commsman and a linesman. and it's still in practice today, that is. Then we moved on to new Italian diving gear. It's the same principle as the CB Garmin, but it's a lot lighter, and it was made from heavy-duty plastic. They're still using it today. So it's
And
that
were you
good.
an employer of the Ship Canal?
I was employed at the Manchester Ship Canal, but although I did work on the Ship Canal, a lot of my work was, we were contracted out to various firms around the country doing our jobs.
And when you were diving, were you checking the water level, or what were you checking?
My first diving job, I was diving on a lock gate in the lightweight rubber suit and one breath and death mask. That was my first diving job, and on the Ship Canal it's zero visibility. You get 5 feet under the water and it goes black. I got on the bottom, I wondered where the hell I was. You go down a line which is weighted, you don't let go of that line. The topside team will walk the line to wherever your bubbles are. So I was just checking the bottom of the lock gate to make sure it was okay. There was an obstruction there. The gate came up against an obstruction and wouldn't close properly. And it was an old oil drum, crushed. So I tied this line round it, and as I came up, they pulled it up as well. And that was my
And it
first.
must have been very busy, the Ship Canal then. Did you have to wait for the ships to pass through?
Yeah, we did, yeah. Later on in life, when I was around 5 years later, we got into a lot of repair work because the Ship Canal machinery was getting older and older. That machinery is still working today, but it needs a lot of constant upkeep. A lot of things were breaking down under the water, and this is where we came into it. So, especially at Eastern Locks, where that's your first entry and your last one going into the Mersey, we had to work tide work. So when the big ships came in and berthed up and the tide was over, then we'd move in, and a lot of our work was drilling under the water for new anchors for the gate chains that pull the gates back in two. And that was set up like a Beaufort's gun. It was massive, and it had a diamond core head on it. And it took, in one dive session, which was about 3 hours, 4 hours, we weren't down deep, so you could stay down there all day if you wanted.
So you never got the bends?
Well, that's another story. Another story. I'm not going into that. So, a drilling session, once you get yourself set up nicely, all you had to do was turn a little wheel, and that sent this diamond core driller through a wall. And the wall was 32 feet thick of granite. So, per session, we were cutting about 2 feet of granite. And we had to dismantle it all, get it all out. It was very heavy work. Get it all out, ready for the next tide and the next lot of shipping to come in and out. And then we set up and start it all again.
And this is my last question. Were there any tragedies? Or did you come across any?
Oh, yeah.
There were tragedies.
Yeah,
It was a day.
Yeah.
No wonder your mum didn't want you to do it.
Diving tragedies, no. Going back to topside team, they were always spot on. You had to be. Tragedies in recovering bodies, yes. 2 little boys on the Bridgewater Canal at Manchester in a baking hot summer, swimming in a lock at Castlefields. One dived in and never came up. He hit his head on the bottom and knocked himself out.
Did the other one follow him?
And the other one jumped in trying to get him. He was okay, somebody saved him. We went up there to look for the young boy, found him. His uncle was down there. It was devastated, but the parents must have been doubly devastated. It was horrible. It was a horrible job.